Sly is hitting 58-yard field goals. So
do you remember?
It's their night, man.
Do you remember when I had a Joey Sly Twitter account?
I do remember that. I remember it well.
When he first kicked for Carolina, he didn't have a Twitter.
He didn't have his own Twitter.
I created one. I impersonated him, which Twitter was not fond of eventually. And I was tagged in many, many articles over the next few months. It was very similar to my Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce. That one got out of hand as well. But, that's why I don't create burners like that are fun anymore. But yes, this has been a unique first half, and versus a sometimes porous Minnesota Vikings defense, it took the Commanders 60 minutes and the assistance of a ref taking out a safety that almost certainly would have intercepted a touchdown pass to get to 17. And yet here we are halfway through the game and the Commanders have 20. And if you have under tickets, you haven't lost yet, but
it's over.
Yeah, you're not. This is not the game state. Well, not only that, the underdog's winning. You have a high-powered offense that needs to kick it into gear. So the odds of there being 9 points or less scored in the second half feels low, just in general. And yeah, Washington is kind of clicking on all cylinders. Heineke's looking good, finding guys. Robinson looks good. It's been okay on defense, but they got the pick. They overcame the early turnover, which was Jesus. Sweat just had a couple plays.
Yeah.
Like it's you run into this every game, I feel like, where you get caught in that first 10 minutes and oh man, Philly's offense looks good. They already got one strip sack. This does this get ugly or not? And as Michael's pointing out in the chat here, the Eagles' run defense not looking good today.
That's okay though, Andy, because even if they lose this game and it snaps their unbeaten streak, coming up for the Philadelphia Eagles, you have a very soft schedule, including the Colts, the Packers, the Titans, the Giants, and the Bears over the next 5. If there is a common theme among those teams, is
that they all figured it out,
and they're all run first.
No, and they all figured out the Green Bay offense is back. We saw it last night. Jeff Saturday, Coach of the Year. The Bears, you've got Justin Fields. He's going to go for 200 a game on the ground. I don't know if I can say anything nice about the other team, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Yeah. And yes, the Bears have scored almost 30 for the last 3 games and have lost.
The Bears' rush offense is going to torch these guys if they don't get it fixed. This is now a problem.
Are the Eagles an over team when they're against a team like that?
Well, are the Eagles going to even sniff the 1 seed if they don't shore up their run defense?
Well, that got flipped on its head pretty quick.
Cowboys, Giants bearing down on them in division too. Cowboys losing hurts their chances, but Giants are still knocking on the door. Giants coming to town. Giants get him twice.
Yeah.
Sack Barkley. I don't know if you've heard, but his career's been revived this year, Andy. He is running the ball quite well.
Yeah, he's if this is what it looks like, and Davis hurts, but if this is what it looks like, it's going to be a problem against some of those teams who have a bunch of good running backs coming in. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Philly still should be your favorite for the NFC and the NFC 1 seed, but the fact that the Vikings lost a game that they were almost certainly, just preseason, we said, all right, that's probably a loss. Minnesota has to go to Buffalo. Even when it was going to be Case Keenum, Minnesota was an underdog in that game. That line was never going to flip past 0. So, it was, by all accounts, that was a game Minnesota shouldn't have won. They have about 3 of those now. They've won a bunch of close games. So Minnesota breathing down their neck, although obviously the head-to-head helps quite a bit in the case of maintaining that 1 seed.
Yeah, but they're ahead by tiebreaker only if they lose this game. So again, I want to just real quickly, the overreaction hot take season. Some of why I'm here is because I was I didn't believe that the Commanders had this in them today. Surely, I thought you'd put Heineke in the link with a Monday night crowd forget about it. Like, he's gonna do some stupid shit in the first half of this game, and he's gonna take the Commanders out of it. Maybe Commanders will be a good bet second half, but I definitely didn't think they were going to be as competent in the first half as they were. You do have a good offensive coordinator in Turner, who's already prepared for these guys once, and now he was going to identify the weakness. You don't even need to be a sleuth to look at the Ben Baldwin defensive EPA per play charts and see that the Eagles are ranking with the Browns and the Texans in terms of terrible run defense this season, and the Chargers. Like, that's a bad foursome to be in for run defense. And so the Commanders are pushing the button, and they are really putting some serious pressure via the run game. And you haven't seen Eagles get into any sort of offensive rhythm so far. They've only had 15 plays. It feels like 19 total plays for the Eagles so far. 6 minutes of time of possession. That is very much a shoe is on the other foot for this team. We don't know how they will respond to this sort of scoreboard pressure, because we just have never seen it. When's the last time the Eagles were even down at halftime, Andy? Do you remember?
I don't think they were. I know, I think they led Jacksonville. They came back to lead that game. They've had a couple close ones, but no, this is odd. They've been usually a very strong first half team, even at least offensively. And part of that time of possession also comes down to, one of their drives, they were given the ball at the 20 and they just went down, scored right away. So, but yeah, after that, I mean, the drives after so you had the short one, and then you get the answer, which was a beautiful drive, and then Philly answers with a nice long drive, and then from there they've only had two other drives. One was one first down, then an interception, and then a 3-and-out for 5 yards, which wasn't great. And just looking at that play sequence, saying it was incomplete. I don't know. Did you think AJ Brown looked okay after he came back? I think he's fine.
A little banged up. Kelsey a little banged up. A couple important pieces getting banged up. I mean, the play is Commanders 7.5. I think. I just feel like a chump not having 11 in pocket doing this.
I really wanted to.
I mean,
the way it was looking too. So when it was 14-7, I said, man, if this is 21-7 at half, or even 17-7, I'm going to come in the second half under.
Can we?
And it's just not the right situation.
Can you give me an unbiased, honest thought? Commanders second half money line is plus 364. Why isn't this second half look a lot like the first half in terms of Washington just being able to keep Philly off the field? Washington's D-line's playing well. Yeah, but I think AJ Brown does look hurt. I agree, and uninterested, maybe just because he's not feeling 100%.
364. You know what? I'll tickle it, but I agree. I'm going to take what's 382 now.
382? Really?
For some, maybe I'm eating Outback tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what it was of his ankle. The way he pulled up lame, it felt like knee or hammy, but
410. This is going hard against us as we're talking about it. 410, 422. Oh my God. Somebody is just waxing the Philadelphia second half money line.
I wonder how often this happens where, something like this you could bet $56,000 right now on the Eagles money line if you wanted to.
And I don't know.
Someone is taking.
What the real thing is why? The real question is why. What did you see from Philadelphia in the first half that suggests that they're going to be able to fix anything?
I think what you've seen from Philadelphia is the entirety of their season. It's been a good team. It's been a team that's been able to come back against the Jaguars, finish close games, hold off teams that were coming back. So yes, they should be a good team, but give me plus 7.5. If you're going to run the ball as effectively as they have, and Heineke's going to be okay, Eagles win this game, but a 14-7 second half.
Honestly, I gotta tell you, there are a million reasons to bet commies. And almost none to bet Eagles. Like the Taylor Heineke doesn't even really have to go
What
into his
number?
bag of tricks here.
What
Like
number would it have to be
like the commies
for you to
defense
bet?
gets one stop, and literally commies offense is like, okay, press the run button again, press the run button again. Like, and you don't even really need to overextend Heineke at this point. You know, if you can take a Heineke turnover out of the equation here, this is that much more likely commies. I'm perplexed that went to 422.
What price on the spread would you need to bet the Eagles? Would you bet them at 3.5? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you go back and look, hey, these teams played already once. It was 24-8 in Washington. Yeah, that was a different quarterback. That was a September team. That was a team that you know, now you've got a healthy running back stable. You've got a couple decent receivers that are contributing, and Heineke is squirrely enough. So that this is the question too. This was my ankle for that second half under, especially if Philly was leading. Like, can the Commanders? They were 9 for 12 on third down, but they were in like manageable third downs a lot. They were kind of getting ahead of the chains. They were getting ahead on chains on first downs. Yeah, it's been fine. I guess if the coverage is going to be like it was in the second half, so when you're seeing Heineke hit a commander in the middle of the field,
this is
on the
what I'm
sideline,
seeing too. Link.
The separation for these receivers is obscene right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, oh man, dude.
Yeah, and what do you think? So put yourself in Sirianni's shoes. What's your adjustment for stopping these third downs? Are you bringing more pressure? Or are you dropping to help stop some of the separation?
I think you're putting 8 in the box.
I mean, but some of these passes, like I'm saying, these receivers are so open, and it's not like he's beating guys over the. We're not beating him over the top for long bombs, but just like 15-yard curls, and there's no one within 5 yards.
Right. So what you actually correct. So what you're correctly pointing out is that they have a terrible decision to make, which is, do we commit more to the run stop and put them in more disadvantaged third downs, or do we, try to shore up that portion of our coverage, which keeps their run stop suspect? So I don't think there's a good answer to that.
And I'd have to look up blitz rates, but just off the top, it doesn't feel like they're a team that blitzes a ton, because they've always been getting pressure with 4. They've been fine getting pressure with 4, and it's worked. So I don't know if it's something. I don't know if it's a card they can even pull. I guess I'd stack. I'd try to stop the run. I'd say, hey, the run's killing us. Let's stop the run, make Heineke beat us. Really prove that he is not going to make a mistake, make a bad throw, make an errant pass somewhere. So I guess that's what. Yeah, I'd stack the shit out of the box. Lackman says Gannon does not and will not blitz.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Joey
Sly this is going to be here.
This is the most interested in a primetime game I've been in a long time. Because I gotta tell you, there is zero, regardless of the result of this game, and if you can say first half, small sample size, blah blah blah, set all of that aside, like the top on the Eagles is come due, right? The top is in on these guys. They may continue to win games. It may be ugly for a little while, but ultimately, the market is ripe to be faded in like all of their awards markets. I want to sell if anyone wants to buy some Nick Sirianni Coach of the Year, I'll sell them some. Like, I think that there's this team is not as good as they're currently being perceived. And they're going to take a bunch of dinks and dunks here, injury wise, potentially, and facing a bunch of teams that running is plan A against a run stop that's about as bad as the Browns.
Who is the best NFC team? Let's still just assume it's the Eagles. I mean, they've proven it. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They get through. Let's say they get through this game, win by 1, because that would be great for our 7.5, and they end up going to 9-0. Give them the benefit of the doubt. The record, the results, the grittiness to win some close games now. Or maybe they haven't had a ton of close games, but they were able to come out and get back versus Jacksonville after getting punched in the mouth. They beat the Vikings, which apparently is quite the feat at this point in the season. The 49ers.
3rd-3. Not a good play. AJ Brown couldn't win 1v1.
Downtown AJ Brown. Is it our Niners, baby? It was kind of a puzzling game plan from them. Like, hey,
I mean, the Niners, by the way, like, talk about an uninspiring win. Like, the fact that you couldn't punch it in from the 7 against a team that only had 3 active D linemen. Really?
Well,
like,
also the game plan
a rough hang
of trading a bunch for a really good running back, and then saying, "Yeah, but we're still probably going to give Elijah
Mitchell. Yeah,
Elijah Mitchell. We give Elijah Mitchell the.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the one. CMC.
We got to keep CMC fresh. Yeah.
CMC is just kind of a change of pace back.
Yeah,
it's just something.
But
I mean, they did cover that second half line.
I think that really, really and truly, as we sit here today, Eagles most likely 1 seed, but there are 7 teams live for the 1 in the NFC.
Yeah, you know what? The fucking New York Giants could.
The New York Giants are live for the 1. They are. They absolutely are. They're live.
Fleshes out
live.
Like this too.
The Giants are live for the 1. The Cowboys are live for the 1. The Vikings are alive for the 1. The Seahawks are alive for the 1. And the Niners are alive for the 1. Seahawks, by the way, get to play the Rams twice left.
Yeah.
Niners already played the Rams twice and got those 2 wins in pocket. Niners have to play like Cardinals twice. Seahawks got the 2 Cardinals wins in pocket. I think that's a little bit advantage Seattle.
I struggle with the NFC teams being able to catch up with Minnesota. Let's say the Eagles drop this one.
I guess there's really only 6 teams live for the 1 seed.
Yeah, Eagles and Vikes still only have one loss. It's hard to catch. But Niners are kind of set up to be a team I wouldn't want to face in the playoffs. Like, here's a team that has a really good running game, and their defense is going to get after you. And it's a good scheme, and it's a good coach, and they're going to come at you with a good game plan. You're assuredly going to give up a first quarter touchdown because the first drive is going to be just immaculate.
Yep.
And you have to fight from there. And that's annoying.
There are 2 teams that you really do not want to play in the playoffs. They're the Bucs and the Niners. You want to play Tom Brady? I don't think so. Not even at home. That was probably your last choice. I
almost DM'd you to see if you wanted to do like a cool deep dive pack today, because we had a rough betting week.
Sure.
I was thinking if maybe you and I both get divorces.
Ooh,
because we
need to bounce back. Yeah,
Tom Brady 2-0 since he's divorced.
Yeah, well,
she can't hear you. You have headphones in, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, here's what we'll do to bounce back. We'll lose 8 figures in a crypto scam, get divorced, and then nothing but up. Nowhere to go but up from
maybe
there.
Maybe get a little work done too.
Yeah, Giselle did move on. She's got a jiu-jitsu professional.
She's essentially dating Johnny from Cobra Kai.
Yeah, who she's apparently been very fond of his work in the training since February, which must make you feel pretty solid if you're tracking those sorts of things.
Brady should just go do announcing now. That pays really well.
It does pay really well. I mean, Brian Robinson is having himself a game, and he's not very good. Like, that's another reason that I think this is like real signal that the Eagles have a problem.
Yeah, I feel like it's shitty to shit talk the guy that got shot.
I know, but
then came back. Yeah. He does look a little slow, and maybe he still is recovering from the injury because he got shot in the leg. That's nuts that he's playing at a high level right now. But he looked faster in college, and if he picks that speed back up, I don't know. There's running backs that look slow. Like, you know what? Robert
Mhm.
Smith always looked like he wasn't running very fast.
You're absolutely true. That's absolutely true. He
But,
was
I
a
mean,
doctor. I don't know if you knew that. He was a medical doctor that
he
decided to play football.
was also the front man of the Cure.
LA Colts comment here. Brady going to rebound with Pete Davidson. Does that mean like he's going to date Pete Davidson because Pete Davidson dates everyone, or he and Pete are going to like go bachelor hounding together? Like, how does that work?
I don't understand. Pete Davidson's got to be swinging a 12-pound hammer. I don't know what's going on.
That's what we've always heard.
Yeah.
I've always heard that. I think that's the real. That's the reason.
I don't keep up with the celebrity stuff. Once it dips into the sports a little, then all of a sudden you hear about it. Yeah. So let's go commies. Oh, a false start.
Yeah, I never like to see that. Let's focus,
Never
guys.
like to see
focus.
penalties.
Focus. All right. Well, here's Zach Wilson's mom has a single friend. Aw, that's nice. I can make a case against Dallas in the NFC just because I don't trust Dak on the road multiple games. Dallas with the 1 seed, I'm a little more interested, I guess, but he certainly didn't perform well under pressure last year and at home. So he concerns me in terms of just kind of keeping his cool.
And this is what sucks is like I feel bad for, and I'm assuming he has some other tickets too, but our guy Cleve TA has some Giants to win the NFC East tickets at some pretty good prices.
Truly.
And it stinks like right now because he was nuts on them overperforming, but at the same time he's also staring down the barrel of a possibly 9-0 team ahead of him, and the Cowboys are right there too. Like, hopefully he just has some. I think he took a little bit of everything. I just remember he had some big numbers on like Giants to win the East, which was obviously a very good look. Still obviously
Very
live. It's one of those things. It stinks when it's like, hey, this guy just broke the world record, but so did the guy that finished in front of him.
C words are just eating over the middle of the field here. What do I think about McDaniels being safe? That is a sign.
Tie goes to the runner, I guess.
That is a sign that either that's the proverbial kiss of death, vote of confidence, or it is a sign that Mark Davis has no money. And he couldn't afford to fire Josh McDaniels, even if he wanted to.
Kind of where I was at, yeah.
So, and I think McDaniels is treating this job like he knows he's got it for 3 years because of whatever his terms are with Davis, and he's gutting the roster and reshaping it in his own vision. And the Raiders, I think, are a multi-year sell until PF Chang stock bounces back, and then Mark Davis has enough money to fire the coach and get a new one.
And I think we touched on this a few weeks back when we were just kind of looking at end of the year scenarios. But yeah, if the Cowboys end up in a wild card spot, it's
did you see Heineke drop it in the bucket?
Yeah.
He just dropped it in the bucket.
Is Slay any good anymore?
I mean, he got absolutely fucking cooked on this one, but Terry McLaurin
is
amazing.
Fast.
He's amazing.
Like,
he's amazing.
Everyone's talking Tyreek, but like McLaurin is
McLaurin's great.
Let's go back because I don't think we gave the game just while we're waiting for them to do something at the end of this drive. Go back to the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Like, we've been for a long time. I don't think this team is any good. Like, we don't think they're bad, but we think it's a middle of the pack team that has some star offensive players, some glaring holes on defense, and sometimes Kirk Cousins stinks.
Yes.
Man, that was impressive. It's impressive to do that against any team.
Oh, man.
To be down by 17 in the third quarter and really to win it, I think probably 25 teams in the league, once you score that touchdown on the snap, a lot of teams aren't getting down there to get that field goal. Like, that was just willpower by Allen.
Sure.
I mean, you're not going
and
to
also
overtime,
a missed call also.
Yeah. The ball was dropped as well. So, but like that was impressive to do that against a high end team.
It was.
And I know they got the I know they got the ball in overtime, and that helps a lot. Obviously, Josh Allen 0-4 in overtime games, by the way, which is just a
crazy
stat oddity. But
He's
are they good?
I think the last one score game Josh Allen won will be the next one will be the first.
Yeah.
I mean the Bills losing one score games is now it's a joke.
Yeah, they either win by 30 or lose by 4.
I guess they won the Ravens game by a score. But anyway, I have been hesitant to really get myself to the point where I feel like giving the Vikings a lot of like a lion's share of the credit for that. I feel like it was very lucky. Some of the angles and some of the missed tackles on the Dalvin Cook 80-yard run, for instance. Like, did you see the couple of angles that the linebackers took? It was like, what are they doing? What did they not? Did they think it was a play action? What's going on?
Za'Darius Smith that had another sack, another couple quarterback hits. He's turning out to be an absolute beautiful reclamation project for him.
Similarly, Kirk Cousins was pretty awful for a lot of that game, and they got a 4th and 18 conversion that was extremely low likelihood. That Bills defender, the Bills defender went up to catch that ball. If the Bills defender goes up and just punches it out of bounds instead of trying to catch it, then the game is over and the Bills win by 4. It was a weird
all the
one.
Time on 4th downs. We're like, no.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man? He wanted the glory. Yeah, he's like situational awareness 0.0. So I don't know that I'm really ready to just be like, hey, it's a weird year. The Vikings are just they're kissed on the head by God. I think everything's going really well for them. It's just they have variance in their favor on the balance sheet so far this year, and that might be enough to get them 1 seed in a really bad division. So
it feels like it's all gonna come rolling back down the hill in one game. Do you remember when the Vikings faced, I believe it was the Kerry Collins Giants? 2000. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
That was a bad sack. God damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But the Vikings, it was a team that wasn't as good as anyone thought they were, and they made it all the way to the end, and then they lost 41-0.
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna have to look that up. 2000.
That was the Kerry Collins Giants who then went on to get embarrassed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Vikings were 1-point favorites in that game, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Awful. Like, it was. Do you know what the score at halftime was?
31-0?
34-0.
Oh, my God.
With, touchdowns. I can't even name somebody. I don't even know Greg Camella. I don't remember him. Fuck, it was Greg Camella. Joe Trevicius caught a touchdown. I do remember him. Ike Hilliard had a couple. Amani Toomer. I do remember him. I guess Giants fans maybe remember this guy. He's a fullback from Wellesley, Massachusetts. Played for a bunch of years, I guess. Man, how many touchdowns does this guy have total? You know what? He had 1 career touchdown. Fucking A. That's pretty funny. And yeah, that was the 2000 Ravens defense that throttle fucked them. So
yeah, I think.
All right, well, we got a field goal.
You got 4 interceptions in that Super Bowl. Is that right? Am I remembering correctly? 4 sacks, 4 picks, something like that. 1 fumble. I don't remember if you lost. That's funny, man.
All right. Well, we got a field goal. We straight out the field goal.
Touchdown
Things could have gone worse.
More enjoyable.
Yeah, sitting on plus 10.5 feels okay though. Just need one more good scoring drive would be fine.
So, did you have any other takeaways in sort of the landscape now of the NFL as we sit here through a little more than half the season? There's still a lot of football left. I think that they kind of, I think broadly, myself included, looking way too sincerely at the finish line.
I want to put Minnesota and Miami in the same category Quarterbacks, I'm not sure I can fully trust yet. Wildly crazy offensive weapons in Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Waddle, and Hill.
Mhm.
Question mark defenses that have kind of showed up at times. And Minnesota's defense has taken some steps forward. I mean, you play Josh Allen, what are you going to do? And Miami's defense has kind of looked like shit for a couple weeks, but they added some pieces. If they get healthy, they start getting things together. These are scary teams in the playoffs because, defense is hard to predict. It comes and goes. But these offenses just seem to work. And, you have to be, if your offense doesn't show up a little bit, the Vikings and the Dolphins are going to score 28. These are teams that feel like the offenses are going to continue to peak, and you got to keep up with them. So if the Vikings or Dolphins defenses improve at all over the next 8 weeks, it's a shitty team to have to go play in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously Justin Jefferson is uncoverable. Tyreek Hill is too fast to catch. And yeah, if Miami can figure some things out in coverage, scary team. Plus, they might win the goddamn division now.
Yeah.
Oh, just stuck him.
No.
Honestly, I would never. That's my final thought for the night. I would never run a kick out,
or field a punt, other than a field.
I wonder what the average starting position is
catch.
for kicks that were run out.
Too late to buy Celtics. NBA season is so long. You'll get a better buy spot. People still way high on the Bucks. I'm not, for not just because they are fucking me over tonight, but just in general. That team is too old and is counting on way too much late season, kind of making up some of the gap. I think
ATP Finals. Did you watch Rublev Medvedev today?
Yeah,
I felt really good for Andre there. That was like a nice little.
That was cathartic.
I got over the hump.
Although, boy, did he try to. He really tried hard not to.
He should have won all 3 sets, which is not something you can actually do. But also, he tried to give away most of them. It was wild. So
way up in the tiebreak in the third
shout out.
set,
We will give a shout out to Michael Harris for winning NL Rookie of the Year. Apparently, they're doing that.
That was a deep breath. Needed that one.
So, all right. I'm gonna go catch the rest of this game, drink some NyQuil, and try to kick this cold. Ugh.
Ooh. All right, man, get it. Eagles going back to their roots. They're just gonna try to run.
Love the roots.
Back to your roots. We're gonna try to win some time and possession back here. That's the reason we're losing this game.
See you guys.